The first Iron Man movie is a revolutionary and groundbreaking film. The moment that movie started playing on that fateful day in 2008, the world of superhero cinema would be changed forever. It was the start of something big, bigger than anything any of us could have imagined. The MCU was created with this movie, but was it really such a perfect start to this amazing new franchise? Hey guys, my name is DJ, and the first Iron Man movie was, shockingly, pretty good. From the acting of Robert Downey Jr. to his transformation into the noble and sophisticated Tony Stark, the Iron Man movie was absolutely incredible. But with that being said, the movie isn't exactly perfect. It was a pretty good movie, sure, but something about it has always felt, to me at least, a little off. When watching the movie, something starts to change. It goes from a war movie discussing the interesting and terrifying politics at the time to two giant robot people fighting in the sky. Now look, the idea of an Iron Man versus Iron Man battle is pretty interesting. I could see why the writers actually wanted to put it in the film. I mean, who wouldn't want to see some metal-on-metal action? However, it is pretty much unanimously agreed upon that this battle in the sky between two robot men is kind of the worst part of the movie. Jeff Bridges playing as Ironmonger is actually kind of the most frowned upon part of the entire movie. Hell, even Mr. Bridges has stated that he didn't have a very pleasant experience working on the movie. From coming to work not knowing what will be shot to constant rewrites, it's clear in interviews that he started to not like the process. Maybe some of that started just seeping into his performance. Even through all of his complaints, it's pretty clear that most people believe him to be the worst part of the movie. So let's take a look at the movie Iron Man as a whole. Is there a way it could have been fixed? Is there a way everybody would be left satisfied? Well, fear not, because I have actually come up with a way that may fix all of the issues. A way that keeps the interesting political side of the story going, that keeps Tony Stark's character moving forward, that makes Iron Man look like a goddamn badass, and that keeps the weird Obadiah Stane twist out of it. Well, this fix is actually quite simple. A simple fix that could result in all of these tasks being accomplished. Just make it Iron Man versus the terrorists. It's really a very simple fix. Making a story about Iron Man versus the terrorists actually makes the movie a lot more topical and thought-provoking. It could discuss the political climate at the time with the war being such a major issue. Also, it could leave the movie with a much more interesting end sequence. At the end of the movie, Iron Man could be battling against his own weapons. The weapons that his company created and sold under the table to the terrorists. We could see them with his guns, his grenades, his tanks. Instead of having a frankly clunky and unneeded battle between two Iron Men, which is something they actually pull off better in the next movie with both the scenes where James Rhodes fights Tony Stark and when they team up against the Iron Man robots. No, the movie could instead show us Tony Stark versus Tony Stark's weapons. The same weaponry that made him so infamous. The same weaponry that made him millions upon millions of dollars. The same weaponry he decides to stop making following being captured in the cave. Tony is being faced with the harsh reality of the damage his weapons cause. Not only psychologically with how he must change himself, but also physically by battling the evil men who fight with his weapons. Tony, in the end, would not only stop his company from selling these weapons, but also the men his weapons were sold to. And if you want to have the Ironmonger twist, save it for Iron Man 2. Honestly, this role is so easy to freaking write him into. It's so easy that I actually kind of convinced myself while writing the script that this was the original plan for Iron Man 2. Have Ironmonger replace Justin Hammer. Literally, all you have to do is replace Hammer with Stain. Then, when Tony eventually figures out that Stain is the reason behind all of this travesty, it actually makes sense. Stain could have even made the iron robots behind Tony Stark's back, once again making him responsible for creating these weapons without his permission. Then, Stain could admit to Tony that he's the one who was selling weapons to terrorists in Iron Man 1, and that's exactly what he plans on doing with the new robots. Stain could be so angry, thinking Tony is a complete idiot for getting rid of the weapons program. A program that Stain and Howard Stark built together. And all of that really stems from the first Iron Man movie. Stain and Tony, who were complete allies throughout the entire first movie, are actually enemies and battle against one another in Iron Man 2. Stain battles for the blood money while Tony battles for public safety. If I was to rewrite Iron Man 1 and hell, even Iron Man 2, these changes just feel like a no-brainer. By just pushing Ironmonger's reveal to the sequel, the major problems with Iron Man 1 changes. The end scene is much more thematic and story-rich, with Tony Stark having to fight against his own weapons. The interesting political discussion can continue to the end of Iron Man, making the movie much more topical and perhaps even matter to more people. Also, with these different decisions, there's no real change to the MCU as a whole. Tony still does go through a similar arc, and Iron Man 2 is vastly improved upon with the change from a pretty lame character like Justin Hammer to an amazingly shocking reveal by Stain. One that has been brewing since Iron Man 1 that makes so much more sense. The dawn of the MCU was created in Iron Man 1, and his legacy is truly legendary. But when it comes to his first few movies, I believe these changes would actually benefit Tony Stark as a character. The change of a man that has only been known to cause harm into a man that is hurt by his own legacy of creating pain to thousands of people. His legacy was born out of these weapons, and his legacy would die at his hands as he destroys them. Tony Stark kills the man he once was by turning into the man he was destined to be.
You can take away my house, all my tricks and toys. One thing you can't take away: I am Iron Man.
Anyways, that's gonna have to be the end of this video here. Did you guys like it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of my over-analytic and dorky content, why not check out this video here? And while you're staring at this outro screen, why not click this little subscribe button? Anyways, hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye! Yo.